Hey friends and family, this is SP News Nuggets, and today you guys, we've got some new information on the Brianna Williams and the Taylor Rose Williams case. Now, it's not a lot of information, you guys, but we're going to share with you everything that's been dropped. When we get it, you get it also. So that's what we're going to do today, and I am going to share that with you. So stick around and see what's going on. Here we go. New details in an investigation of the child remains found near Brianna Williams' hometown. Okay, you guys, it says accordingly to law enforcement sources, investigators discovered a garbage bag at the scene of the remains in Alabama, which they believe once had the remains. So, Jacksonville, Florida, Brianna Williams reported her daughter, 5-year-old Taylor Rose Williams, missing in early November from her north side home on Iva Street. The Jacksonville Sheriff Office still has crime scene up on the property and patrol vehicles keeping watch 24/7. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, there's a reason why they still got someone watching the property and keeping a patrol there. So here we go with the new information. Last week, human remains were discovered in Demopolis, Alabama, near Williams' hometown of Linden. Jacksonville Sheriff Mike Williams said JSO believes the remains belong to Taylor, but is awaiting a positive ID from the autopsy and the DNA comparison. According to multiple law enforcement sources, investigators discovered a garbage bag at the scenes of the remains in Alabama, which they believe once had the remains inside of it. They say wildlife may have impacted the bag. They also say they found some clothing on the remains, but it wasn't the purple and pink pajamas Taylor's mother said she put her in the night before she reported her daughter missing. First Coast News met with the forensics experts to take a closer look at the tedious process of locating, gathering, and examining human remains like those found in Alabama. Forensics expert Michael Knox has a long history of crime scene analysis. He spent 16 years with JSO and now works as a chief forensics consultant. It's a very painstaking process because you have to do it in small layers, Knox said. You shift through everything in that area. You make sure no evidence is missing. Investigators are not in a hurry. They want all the data, all the information before they make a decision. He says an investigation like this takes multiple teams of people and typically lasts several days. They scour the area of the crime scene looking for any evidence that may have been scattered, such as bullets or other weapons. They often use a metal detector and look for jewelry or other items left behind that could offer more clues. He says forensics anthropologists will often get involved if there are skeletal remains. They will conduct toxicology tests of the soil below the remains to examine for any substance such as drugs or poison. Knox says it only takes a matter of days for a body to start decomposing and just a matter of weeks before it can turn into skeletal remains if left. He says DNA from other individuals can be found on the remains if there are any items still left. Around that they touch, but if it's situational, it becomes more difficult the longer a body is exposed to outdoor elements, which is often the case. People tend to leave remains in wooded areas that seem remote but may still be familiar to them. If they know the area, they know the traffic pattern. They know how likely someone would come by if they are there, he said. Knox says the biggest factor that could have tied Brianna Williams to foul play in this case prior to DNA evidence is the timeline. He says it's a telltale sign for JSO to out in the arrest warrant that Taylor hasn't been seen since May, because that could be an indication of when they believe Taylor was last seen alive. If DNA proves the remains are in fact Taylor, that determination can't be made until the autopsy is completed and the DNA from the remains are compared to the DNA on the evidence. The coroner's position would be if, in fact, it's clear to them that this child was dead long before the time that she was supposedly last seen by the mother, he said. That would be enough to show that the mother is doing something wrong here that would tend to indicate some foul play. As of right for now, Brianna Williams still remains in the hospital, but she is out of a coma and she is talking. We do not know what she's talking about because they want her to remember, and they did give some indication that one of the reporters were saying that she hopes she can remember what all happened to her daughter. But I guess Brianna is repeating that she still needs to go pick Taylor up. So you guys, that's what's going on here. And so we got some questions that we're going to try to answer that people have left us. So I'm just going to add these in here and so that you guys can see them. And then we'll post up the answer also.